Do you have self-control? Do you take accountability for your actions? That's what I'm going to talk about today in this video. Lock in, check it out. If you like this video, if you like this content, if you have something to say, leave a comment down below, click the like button, and I hope that you subscribe. Today, we are going to dive in to Genesis chapter 4. We're going to start with verse number 1. It's really going to be about a couple, I think probably just 2 points today. But we're going to start reading first. So like chapter 4, verse 1, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived and bare Cain and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And as she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground. In the process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof, and the Lord, and he had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted? And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. And Cain talked to Abel his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field, that Cain rose up against Abel his brother, and slew him. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And he said, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother's blood crieth unto me from the ground. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which hath opened her mouth to receive thy brother's blood from thy hand. So the very first point I want to bring out is that, actually, I'm not going to bring that point out. I want to talk about something first. So we've seen in the past that Adam and Eve clearly didn't make the right decision when it came to the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Eve saw the fruit, saw that it looked good, tasted good, probably was going to feel good when she ate it. Or she actually realized after talking to the serpent that, hey, I'm going to be like God and know things like God, which is something that we should have never experienced, in my opinion. So, but even when they did that, they didn't take accountability per se for the decisions they made. They tried to run and hide. They tried to do things to cover up stuff that they realized was wrong. The first point now that I want to talk about is decisions you make affect your children. Or future children. So Adam and Eve did something wrong. They ate from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They didn't off front take accountability from the beginning, to take accountability for their actions. They tried to run and hide. Adam, whenever God talked to him about it, tried to blame it on Eve. We fast forward to chapter 4 of Genesis, where now Adam and Eve have conceived Cain and conceived Abel. And we see that Cain is a tiller of the ground, just like his father was. And technically, Adam was a tiller of ground and a keeper of animals. So, well, I'll see if I'm going to dive into that today or dive into that another video. But the the main point is Adam's decision to not take accountability from the start of his sin translated to Cain and Abel, where Cain became jealous, became wroth whenever Cain and Abel decided to make an offering to the Lord with their fruit, with their sheep, and Cain didn't give his best, but Abel did. Now we can go into the. I'm not going to go into the really like background of why Cain and Abel decided to make an offering to God. I'll dive into another video, but the biggest thing is Adam didn't have self-control, didn't make great decisions, and those decisions affected his children or his future children because Cain became jealous, wroth with his brother, and ultimately took Abel's life. And then whenever God asked him about, hey, where's Abel? Cain does the exact same thing as Adam. He says, I don't know what you're talking about. Well, am I my brother's keeper? He doesn't take responsibility for his decisions, right? So our decisions affect our children or our future children, even if we don't really think they do. I can guarantee you that Adam didn't think what I'm doing, how I respond to God is going to translate to how my children respond to God. We have to, as men, we have to make the best decisions no matter what. And then if we don't make the best decisions, we have to own up to them. We have to own up to them and try to fix I say fix. We have to try to improve so that our children don't see or don't do the same things that we do that were harmful. Okay. Number two, so I am going to kind of dive into what they did. Number two, this is kind of a good thing that Adam gave to Cain and Abel. Adam actually showed them what the purpose of what they were supposed to be doing, right? Because Adam passed on the workability, or not the workability, passed on the work that God gave him. So Adam passed on work to his children. So because Adam passed on the different avenues of working, so Cain became a tiller of the ground, Abel became a keeper of sheep, a keeper of animals. That was a way, even though, and it's controversial in how many people are actually on the earth at the time, whenever Moses was actually given this information to write. Cain and Abel had ways to provide for their family. Cain, being the tiller of the ground, knew how to set up the ground, fertilize, cultivate the ground to produce fruit, to produce vegetables, to produce herbs. Abel, on the other hand, knew how to keep his sheep or keep his animals to produce really good herd or really good livestock. You can see, like I said in chapter 4, where God said Abel gave his first and fattest sheep or first and fattest livestock. So he clearly knew how to take care of the animals, and Cain knew how to take care of his animals as well, but he decided, I'm going to keep the best for myself, and then I'm going to offer whatever else to God. So Adam did these 2 points today. Adam, it was kind of a negative. Decisions you make affect your children and future children. In this aspect, Cain decided to kill Abel because he was jealous and didn't take accountability for his actions, which was directly from Adam. Like Adam didn't take accountability for his actions. So God dealt with Adam and Eve as he saw fit. The same with Cain. He cursed the ground, cursed Cain whenever he did what he did and didn't take accountability for it. But the second point, like I said, Adam passed on the work or work ethic to his children. So he passed on ways to produce, to create, to provide for his family, even though one son didn't get to do it for the rest of his life, and Cain clearly did. That these two things I think are very important, or I believe are very important in our lives today in 2025. We have to understand that our decisions affect not just us, not just our spouse, but our children, our future children, our grandchildren. And we also have to, number two, instill a sense of work, or still instill a sense of work ethic in our children. Like I said, Cain and Abel clearly knew how to do things, how to produce, how to provide, but their goals, their aims weren't aligned with God, and seeing that Cain decided to end Abel's life. So if you don't get anything out of this lesson, just make sure to understand that your decisions affect more than just you. How you work, how you pass on your work ethic affect more than just you. If you were blessed by this video, please drop a like, drop a comment. I will see you in the next video. Stay blessed.